seconds and counting.
Hey, what's good, guys? It's Essam here, back with another video. And for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Houston Texans. And earlier this week, a day ago, I made a video on CJ Stroud on how he's been looking this season and why I think he's probably going to be, of course, he's going to be the Texans franchise quarterback for the future. I don't have any doubt about that. But why I think he can be an elite quarterback in this league. And for today's video, I'm going to be talking about Nico Collins. For now, CJ Stroud's number one receiver, and why I think Nico Collins can definitely have a future, not only in this league, but on this team, and be one of CJ Stroud's primary targets for not only this season, but maybe even the future seasons. Let's not forget that Nico Collins is only 24. We drafted him out of Michigan when he had an off year before that season. Like, the year that he was drafted, he didn't really play. I'm pretty sure it's because he took that COVID, you know how they had that COVID thing where if the college player didn't want to play, he didn't have to play or something like that. He opted out for COVID year or something, and he ended up being drafted that year. But throughout that year, he, of course, was doing workouts and training and whatnot. But Nico Collins, he was off to a slow start in the NFL at least. He had a couple good games, okay games here and there. But then, of course, his production was hindered and limited by not the best quarterback play from a mixture of Tyrod Taylor, a mixture of Jeff Driscoll, a mixture of Kyle Allen, and then, of course, Davis Mills. And then now that he gets a more point guardish type of quarterback, a guy that's going to get you the ball, whether you're open or not. He's going to put that ball in really where you can get it. And now that he has that, he's been playing really, really good. He almost had himself a 150-yard game this past weekend against Indianapolis Colts. He had 147 receiving yards on only 7 catches. He had 21 yards per catch, which what stands out to me the most. Throughout training camp, we did see numerous Houston reporters and outlets and whatnot, they pretty much all said that Nico Collins, he's going to be the deep threat of this team. He's going to be the guy that when you need to get a big chunk or a big portion of yards, Nico Collins is going to be your go-to guy with, of course, Tank Dell being that intermediate, Robert Woods being that intermediate / safety blanket. But Nico Collins has been just that. And throughout the whole season, really, I mean, it's only been 2 games. Throughout these past 2 games, he's been that, really. In the Ravens game, he had a couple of big chunk plays. And then, of course, against Indianapolis, he had a couple of big chunk plays. He had a 3rd down red zone touchdown, which was a good catch. It looks like CJ Stroud may have been targeting Tank Dell, running right behind Nico Collins. I'm not really sure who exactly CJ was targeting. There was 2 players like pretty much open in that vicinity, and one of them came down with it, and it was, of course, the bigger guy, the 6'4", Nico Collins. And being 6'4", his play speed that Nico Collins plays at, I think it's really, really rare to see a guy that big play the way that Nico Collins does. When you look back, a couple of guys come to mind. Auden Tate, who didn't really have the longest or best of NFL careers. I'm not exactly sure where he is right now. He may be retired or he may be a free agent. I'm not really sure. Practice squad maybe. But it looked promising for the first few years of Tate's career, and then he just kind of fell off. It may have been a mixture of injuries and whatnot, but he just kind of fell off. And when you try to think of other bigger receivers that are like, I guess, as talented as Nico, there's really not that many. I don't want to throw this name out there because people are going to get the wrong idea, but Julio Jones is probably like one of the other guys. I'm sure there's been other guys with Nico Collins' size and speed and everything, but Julio Jones really comes to mind. I don't think Nico Collins is ever going to be as good as Julio Jones. Obviously, Julio Jones is a top 10 wide receiver of all time, maybe even higher than that. But the way Nico Collins plays kind of reminds me of Julio. Of course, Julio was dominant on all aspects of the game. He could catch a screen, take it all the way to the house. He could do a simple slant, take it all the way to the house. Go route, it's always his ball 99% of the time. And for Nico Collins, it's not like that, at least yet. Who knows how good Nico Collins can be? Again, he's only 24. He's off to a great start this season. He's for sure top 5 in receiving yards in the NFL. I think he's top 3 in the AFC. Maybe even number 2. I don't have that exactly put up in front of me right now. I remember I saw something like that earlier. But there's a lot of advanced stats, advanced metrics on Nico Collins all over Twitter right now. A lot of these fantasy football nerds, all of these stat nerds, these in-depth metrics nerds. I mean, I'm not nerds, but it's good stats. It's interesting stuff. But like the people that keep track of all of that stuff, I mean, it takes a lot and a lot of studying and whatnot. But those people who have been putting out all of those stuff, they've been putting out some good stuff. And Nico Collins, he's top 3 on pretty much all of those things. His route running, he's had like a certain amount of separation in between each route. He's been creating separation right off the line, beating cornerbacks right off the line, stuff like that. He's been open a lot. And CJ Stroud's been taking advantage of that and killing defenses. And a lot of those routes, they're pretty simple concepts. I mean, a quick in, intermediate in route, just stuff like that. And against the Colts, it looked like that was pretty much the go-to when you needed a big play, when it was third and 13, when it was second and whatever. When you needed a big chunk play, it was that quick in or that intermediate in to Nico Collins. And it feels like it hit him like 4 to 5 times. Let's see. One of the catches, I think it was like a touchdown. It was like a fade route, I think, something like, not a fade, but I think he started on the slot, I'm not really sure. But the point is, like, 4 to 5 of those catches were just on those quick ends. And I think that could be the Texans' offense bread and butter. It seems like that's what Bobby Slowick's been relying on a lot from Nico Collins and these Texans receivers. Nico Collins' job, again, be that not necessarily deep target, but that guy that's probably going to be at least 5 to 10 yards deeper than every other Texans receiver. Be that guy that, of course, as I said, that explosive guy when you need that big chunk play. He's going to be the guy primarily on those quick ends, quick outs, middle of the field type of stuff. Tank Dell's going to be that intermediate guy. Get a quick little whip route, zig route, quick little slant, whatever you need. If you need some quick yards, just get the ball in his hands. Robert Woods, he's going to run that safer route. He's going to have his control almost all the time. No, I don't want to say all the time, but he's going to have control on what route he runs, depending on the defense, I feel like. You see that happen a lot with a lot of veteran receivers. Veteran receivers sometimes, a lot of the times, they have their freedom to choose what route they want to run. And against certain defenses, at least, when it's zone coverage, they have the choice where to stop, where to go. And the quarterbacks love that. I mean, most of the time, he's going to go wide open if he has that freedom. He's going to know who's in what zone. And again, it's with most veteran receivers because they have that natural instinct because they've been playing for so long. And Robert Woods just has that natural instinct, and it's great for a young rookie quarterback in the second game. But yeah, the point of this video is for Nico Collins. But Nico Collins, he's gonna benefit off of that a lot. The defense is gonna have to monitor Tank Dell's shiftiness, his quickness, the ability to just get the ball in his hands in a quick play. Sometimes might even have to double team Tank Dell, maybe one with the linebacker and then one with a safety or something like that. Maybe not necessarily double team, but like have at least 2 guys monitoring where he is. Linebacker in zone, safety on man or something like that. Robert Woods, you're going to have to not maybe do the same thing, but like they're going to always have to monitor him as well, which leaves Nico Collins almost one-on-one with these safeties, with these corners all the time. And I think that's one thing Bobby Slowick has done good at. Maybe he hasn't been the best at play calling at times. He's called the wrong plays on specific downs, like on a second and 3, he'll call, or some play call that really shouldn't be called there. But I think one job that he has done really good is scheming on these wide receivers open. And I've seen a couple of guys talk about that too. I think it was the QB score. It may have been the QB score or some other guy. Maybe it was a Houston outlet, another Houston channel or reporter or whatever. I remember seeing them say something like Bobby Slowick has done a great job at scheming these wide receivers open. I think Robert Woods also said the same thing. The wide receivers love how Slowick's been creating routes and getting them open. They love the way he's been scheming. But again, it's just the fact of getting the right play call off. And I think Bobby Slowick has been a little bit off on that. Maybe it's a little bit because of the offensive line. He's not safe with it. But I mean, yeah, Nico Collins, again, he looks like he could be I think he could finish this season as a top 15 receiver. He can solidify himself as a top 15 receiver in the NFL, which is a big thing because now in the NFL, that's a ton of good receivers. When you look around, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Keenan Allen is still a great receiver, Mike Williams is still a great receiver. This is all of these guys. Of course, the elite of the elite, Justin Jefferson, Chase, Hill, Waddle, those guys. I think if you say a wide receiver can be top 15, I think that's still a very great thing. Even if you're top 20, which I think Nico Collins will definitely be at the end of the season. Right now, again, I think he's top 5 in receiving yards in the whole NFL, top 3 in the AFC, maybe even top 2. let's see if this continues. I think it definitely can continue, especially with the style of offense we've been doing and with the run game not working. We've been doing a lot of heavy passing. CJ Stroud, I think he's going to have a chance to be top 10 maybe in passing yards this season. Nico Collins has a chance to be top 10 in receiving yards. But yeah, Nico Collins, I think, is going to have a great season and possibly an even great career here in Houston. Maybe not as a wide receiver one forever in this Houston offense, but I definitely think he could be a great wide receiver number 2 for the future. But yeah, it's been Clutch Entertainment. Let me know what you guys think down below about Nico Collins. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Peace.